In this video, we will be looking at the different types of charts. People who create charts usually do so to make a point or to communicate a specific message. Choosing the correct type of chart is often a key factor in the effectiveness of the message. Therefore, it's often well worth your time to experiment with various chart types to determine which one conveys your message best. It can be used to compare items with other items. For example, the sales of a company in different regions, compare data over time, make relative comparisons. For this we use pie slices. Compare data relationships. An XY chart is ideal for this comparison. Frequency comparison, which is a histogram, and to also identify outliers or unusual situations. Probably the most common chart type is the column charts. A column chart displays each data point as a vertical column, the height of which corresponds to the value. The value scale is displayed on the vertical axis, which is usually on the left side of the chart. Here we look at a stacked column chart. This chart has the added advantage of depicting the combined sales over time. Next, we look at the 100% stacked column chart. This chart type shows the relative contribution of each product by month. Notice that the vertical axis displays percentage values and not sales amount. Next, we look at a plot, which is a 3D clustered column chart. This name is a bit deceptive because the chart uses only 2 dimensions, not 3. Many people use this chart because it has more visual pizzazz. Compare this chart with a true 3D column chart. Though it may be visually appealing, the precise comparisons are difficult because of the distorted perspective view. You can also choose from column variations such as cylinder, cone and pyramid charts. The only difference among these chart types and a standard column chart is the shape of the columns. Next, we look at a bar chart. A bar chart is essentially a column chart that has been rotated 90 degrees clockwise. One distinct advantage to using a bar chart is that the category labels may be easier to read. The category labels are lengthy and displaying them legibly with a column chart would be difficult. Next, we look at a line chart. Line charts are often used to plot continuous data and are useful for identifying trends. A line chart can use any number of data series, and you can use colors, line styles or markers to distinguish these lines. Next is the pie chart. A pie chart is useful when you want to show relative proportions or contributions to a whole. A pie chart uses only one data series. Pie charts are more effective with a small number of data points. Generally, a pie chart should use no more than 5 or 6 data points. You can explode one or more slices of the pie chart for emphasis. Another common chart type is an XY chart, also known as scattergrams or scatter plots. An XY chart differs from most other charts in that both axes display values. This type of chart often is used to show a relationship between two variables. Here we look at an important formatting type. So as you can see, you have to press the format axis and you have axis options where you are able to change the starting value of the axis. So as you can see here, most of the values occur beyond 70, so we are changing the initial starting point as 70 for the x-axis. There are also options to display values in reverse order, showing values in logarithmic scale, displaying unit terms in hundreds and thousands, and also determine whether you want major and minor tick marks. You can also look at where you want the axis labels. As you can see, the scatter plot has become more clear once we have changed the axis initial point. Next is an area chart. Think of an area chart as a line chart in which the area below the line has been colored in. Here we see an example of an area chart. So as you can see, it basically shows the sales of product A and product B over 6 months. It is a stacked chart. So stacking the data series enables you to see clearly the total plus the contribution of each of the sets. Next we look at something known as the donut chart. A donut chart is similar to a pie chart with two differences. First, it has a hole in the middle and it can display more than one series. Notice that Excel displays the data series as concentric rings. A donut chart with more than one series can be very difficult to interpret. For example, the relatively larger sizes of the slices towards the outer part of the donut can be deceiving. Perhaps the best use for a donut chart is to plot a single series as a visual alternative to a pie chart. Next on the list is the radar chart. A radar chart is a specialized chart that has a separate axis for each category and the axis extends outwards from the center of the chart. Here you can see how much green, blue or red is being contributed towards making a particular color. Next is a surface chart. A surface chart displays two or more data series on a surface. Surface charts are listed in the other charts category. These charts can be quite interesting. Unlike other charts, Excel uses color to distinguish values and not to distinguish data series. The number of colors used is determined by the major unit scale setting for the value axis. Each color corresponds to one major unit. Then we look at something known as the bubble chart. Think of a bubble chart as an XY chart that can display an additional data series which is represented by the size of the bubbles. As with an XY chart, both axes are value axes. In this chart, you can see that the coordinates are 120, 10. That is, the initial weight is 120 and number of weeks is 10 and the size is 15, which represents the weight loss. Finally, we look at stock charts. Stock charts are most useful for displaying stock market information. These charts require 3 to 5 data series depending on the subtype. Stock charts aren't just for stock price data. It can also be used to depict temperatures. So high, low and average temperatures for each day. So here you can see the temperatures depicted for 10 days. Finally, we look at combination charts. A combination chart is a single chart that consists of series that use different chart types. Creating a combination chart involves changing one or more of the data series to a different chart type. Here you can see two data series depicted as column and line chart. Now we see how Excel handles missing data. There are three ways. First is gaps, that is, the missing data is simply ignored. Second is zero, the missing data is treated as a zero value. And third, it is interpolated. So let us remove the value for April month. Under chart tools, go to design and select data. On the left bottom, you can see a link that says hidden and empty cells. Click on that and here you can choose the option that you require. So right now it is a gap. Next we see what happens when we give it as a 0. As you can see, April month has been plotted with the value 0. And finally we look at interpolation. This completes our section on charts.